So I will put a date. Let's finish the redux part and then we'll go to another topic. So last time we created the site service files. We created the site service files where we have mentioned the base query and then we created different endpoints. So it will call the API and give the results. And if we want to do any other customization, we can always go to this old way also. And this is very much customizable as per your needs. But let's see how to work on this one. So we created get all API with a create API, give some register path name, then give the base query which is the endpoint. One endpoint is get all, another one is get one, another one is create one, and another one will update and select. So these are the few get queries, few calls I created. For each one which you have created, we get the use hook for each one, which we have to export it. And then we will try to get this all in the component and use it. And each one will query will return the URL which you want to use it. And with the body, you will get the URL method and the body which you have to post it. Same thing with the put method and same thing with the delete method. Now we'll use all these things in practical. Okay, so let's go to, so let's create a new one. So here is a fifth one. Let's see what it's doing. It's doing site slice. Okay. And sixth one, what it's doing, it is also calling the site section file. Okay, so let's copy the seventh topic and we'll do the seventh topic the same with using the slides. Action add topic API. Okay, let me copy the sixth one and put it in the fourth folder. I'll create a new folder, topic 7, and from 6 I will copy all files to 7. I'll change home page to 7. And then in the topic 1, we call the add topic, and this is let's pass to only the add topic. In the add topic, when someone changes the topic input, we call the action add topic. Since this is not the backend call, we can keep it as it is from the site action. We don't need anything from the service layer. But when someone tries to submit it, here previously we were calling action add topic API, which was calling the backend with this body, So similarly, we will pass it, instead of passing it here, we will pass it to the service one. So in that topic, what we have to do, let's see what things we have to do it. So first thing is we need to import. What we need to import? We have to import the create one, that is this one. Use create mutation. So we will call this use create mutation, we'll import it. Let's import. Okay, so we have imported the file. Next, what we have to do, we have to create a variable here. Okay, so what variable we have to create? Look here, we have to say constant since this is the create one, so I'll put an empty array first right now, but I will update it with some variable name, and I will use create mutation. Okay, and I will name it as a create. If I have to do update one, I will create update with the use update mutation. If I have to delete, I will create the delete record and use the third one, what is called as use deletion record mutation. So I can use whatever I want. Right now here I want to edit only, so I will only create the create one. Okay, so now we will have to call this create one. So as soon as someone try to submit it, we have to create some data, right? So let's create the data body, what you call it body, as we have done in the previously in the site action. We have created this body. Similarly, body we have to create it here. So what will be the reference? Reference will be this topic money. And topic will be the topic which we have this one. You can name it anything. For now, I will just change the name to form data. Some data with the form data. I will remove this line because we don't need this line. Okay, let's see what form data we are getting later. And then we run it. And I start to add topic. We are getting this form data, reference and topic which we see here. Okay, now we got the form data. Now we have to submit it in the create function. We just now created it. So here I will say create. And what create requires? Create requires that I should pass some body. Okay, so create requires some body should be passed. So I'll pass the form data, which we have this one. And then we have to say dot unwrap. So whatever return will come, we have to say dot unwrap. And then we have to say that, like we do the page. If we do the page call, we say page and then we return the response.json and then we use it. Similarly, in this, we have to create and then we have to say unwrap and then we use a then. In the then, we have to pass the arrow function. Here I will get the response. And this I will do the console.log. Response is response. Okay, so we did the response here. So let's see what response we are getting it. So you can create a variables by giving some success message kind of thing in this one. So see response is coming as true. So if you see here, we are passing this payload and we are getting response true. If I refresh, you will see the results. We are not seeing immediately, but which we will do it now in some time. But let's see. Let's add one more. So if you see in the console, we are getting responses true. And if I refresh the page, you will see the mango here. Is that clear how to create it? How to add it? Any questions on this one? So here we can write some success message, or we create some state variable that your record is created. So whatever we want to do, we can do. So the create part is done. Now let's try to, now if I do update or anything, we have to do in the same way like this one. Okay. Now let's try to do the get all for the get all query. Now this add topic is done. We'll do edit and delete also in some time. Let's do. Okay. So add topic is done, right? Let's try to do. Let's try to get something first. So this get call. So initially we were using this action get all topic API, which was basically calling the URL, reference, and whatever it is, and it was getting the results. Now here in the site service, get all, we get to pass the reference, and then this reference will automatically pass in this URL and we'll get the results. So let's try to do the get all. So for get all, we will call our another service called as use get all query. So here I will import use get all query. So we have imported the use get all query. Now I will go down and then I will create one variable called as constant get all equal to use get all query, and in use get all query we have to pass the reference. We have to pass the reference. So here I will pass the reference, this one. Okay, so now we will see what things are coming in the get all. Okay, let's check what's happening in the get all. If I refresh the page, so you will see in the get all, previously we are getting status pending. We are getting status pending, and we're getting data as undefined. Let's go down here. We get the data. So this is the data which we are interested in. When the data will come, it will come in this data. And we have the records which we can show all the results. So we will take use of this variable and show it on the page. You can also have the loading part, whether loading is going on, whether there is error or not, whether fetching is done or not. So all these things are automatically taken care of. You can use it whenever you want it. Right now we are only interested in this data, and we'll see what we are, how to get that. So I will go here. Previously, the data was coming in the topics, and then we were mapping it, right? Previously, we were getting the topics and we were mapping it. Here, what we're getting data, and inside data, we have records. And inside records, we have results. So we have to actually loop these results. And previously, we were getting topics. Topics is nothing but the result, and in the result we get records, and records is the result. So ultimately, whatever data we're getting, we have to go to result, records, and then results. So here I'll go in the results page. I will go. So get all is the variable where we are getting it, everything. So inside get all, we have to go to data. So how to loop it? We have to check get all, and we'll check if it is there. Then I will go to data. Then I'll check if it is there. Then I'll go to records, and then I will check it inside records. We have to go to results, and if results are there, then we map it, and same thing will continue. Let's remove this now. Okay. So this topics is now not used. So let's delete this topics. So previous API which was coming from site action, we removed it, and we are using the get all from the / site service. Okay, now let's see. If I refresh the page, you will see I'm getting the data and it is displayed here as it is. Let's try to add the record now. Okay, so once the record is added, we have to empty this one, which we were not doing previously. We will do it now. So here we will also empty the. Okay, we'll do that later. First, let's try to add it. Let's refresh it. I added the apple. It got added in the database. Okay, so this create part is working and getting the results is also working fine. Now, one thing I want to mention here. So what happened? It cached the record. So when I create the apple, it cached the record of apple. So we are not updating this whole results. So we have to invalidate the cache as soon as we create the new record. So right now we will invalidate the cache by doing this way. So I will go to my site service. Yeah, here I have put the invalidated tags is there. That's correct. Invalidated tags are there. So if invalidate, so here we have to put the tags which gets invalidated, and then it fetches the results again. So we'll see what things more we to add. So why it's not fetching the results. First, let's see everything is done. Okay, so get all is there. Let me refresh it. I will add it again, one more record. So we got the body and the responses. Okay. Okay, let's finish first all the things and then we'll look into this part again. Okay, now just validating the so whether everything is we call the get API, the get API redux middleware. Okay, and this is correct. Okay, let's finish the update and delete first, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay, so the get one is clear that we call the get all, and then get all will give this results, which we are displaying it here. We can also do this, what you call a destructuring by saying construct data error is loading from the get all. We destructure it, and then instead of get all, we will directly call the data. We'll see what error and results are also coming. Let's check it again. So we're getting data error and loading is false. Previously, when it is called, loading is true, and then later loading becomes false, which we can show. If error is there, error will come here. Now let's try to add one more. Okay, we are getting success. We can it, and then we'll come back to this again to see one more thing. Any question on this one? Okay, so let's go to update part. So for update here, we are trying to update it. The update part we have to do similarly as we did here in the add topic. We call the use create. Here we have to call the use update mutation, and also we'll call the use delete mutation. And similarly as we did here, we created this one, create one. We will create a couple of them. One is for delete and one is for update. I create similarly two of them. And now I will call them in the update part. So here we have to call the update one with this data. So I'll create this data here, update topic, where reference is this reference. And the topic is input.topic, which is correct. This is correct. And I'll delete this part. And here we'll call update one like we did in the create one. We'll say update dot update, and in the update part, what we have to pass? In the update, we have to pass ID and body. So we have to update ID and body. So I will say ID is which ID I want to pass. Where is the ID? Can anyone tell me where is the ID? Previously we were calling ID as a value. So ID is a value. So I'll pass ID as a value, and body will be nothing but this body. This one is the body which we created. And as soon as we call the update, we will say unwrap, and then we'll say then, and we'll see the response. And we'll see the response. Let's see how it works. So once I say update, it's saying ID, and the body is this one. And then we got the response as a 2. Let's try to edit one more. Okay. So we are getting the response equal to 2. It's not updating, we will refresh. Okay. We will see how to refresh after we are getting it. And so we'll do that at some time. Okay, so we are getting this. Any questions on this one? whatever we did, update and create. Okay, no questions. Let me see one more thing when we are getting this get all. Let's see what more things we are getting. Okay. Okay, let's do the delete one now, and then we'll come back to this one again. Let's do the delete record. So when we are trying to delete it, we'll call the delete record, and then same thing we have to say unwrap, and then in the then we have to say response, what response we're getting, we'll see. And then we'll pass in the delete record what we have to pass. In the delete record we have to pass ID on the ID. So previously we were passing the ID here, and here we will pass this ID inside the delete record. Okay, now delete is let's try to delete something. So we are getting the response true. Let's delete this one. Okay, though it is not refreshing, but we are able to delete it. The question is why it's not refreshing. Okay, so let's complete the delete part, and then we see. So handle delete is clear. We have to call the mutation. Whenever you have to call the mutation, we have to call this function with the parameters which are there in the site service, whatever parameter we have, and then we have to unwrap it and we have to call them. But whenever you have to call the get one, we have to just directly call the get here, and then you will get the results here, whatever the get will for. Is this clear? Till now it is clear, and we'll remove this get one. So let's refresh the page now. So we delete that three records. Okay, we'll see how to refresh get the records again. But all these three edit, update, create is clear. Any questions on this one?
Sir, I have one question actually in Redux.
What is your question?
Sir, I have used actually Redux with map state props and map dispatch props earlier.
You have used with
Map state props.
yeah, that's an old way, very old way, right? 2001. We were using in the
Yes, sir. I'm confused. Yes, sir. I'm confused in three ways actually. Earlier I have used a map state props, and now we are using the different way, mutation and all, right? And new one is coming is query, toolkit, Redux toolkit.
Yeah. So what is your confusion?
They all are three different methods actually. That's why I'm confused.
So Very old way is very old way. People don't use it, kind of thing. And you have to use either depend on your company rules. Either you have to use the redux toolkit using the site service, or you have to use it the way which I built it in this one. Depending on your depending in your company what they do. So what
sir, if I'm preparing for the interview, sorry.
So then you prepare redux toolkit only, because they will be asking that only.
Redux toolkit. Okay.
Yeah. One second. In reality, this whenever I create one or update one or delete one, here I created the tags like node, and here I'm invalidating the tag node. It generally pulls the data automatically for the get call. Somehow it is not pulling here. I have to check why it is not pulling here. We don't have to call this get all or refetching again. Since we invalidate the tag, it's automatically. What happened?
No, so I'm just asking, invalidation tag is using the cache.
Yeah. This using tag. Whenever I provide tag, it cached it, and when I invalidate it, it should and remove it from the cache, and it call the get call again. Okay, somehow it is not calling the get call. I have to check that why it is not calling get call. So when I delete it or edit it or create it, for example, I create it, it should call this get all call automatically because we invalidate it. So this part I will check why it's not working in our code base. It will take some time. Maybe I missed some configuration, which I'll let you know next time. Okay. Otherwise, whenever you try to edit it, it should automatically refetch all this content and give you the results because we invalidate the tag. So if you see, we provided the tag and then we invalidate. When I say invalidate tag, that means wherever you see this tag, it should refetch that call again. Okay, so somehow it is not working. Maybe some configuration is missing. I don't know which configuration is missing. I will check that one. So let me see. Yeah, right now only edit is called, get all is not called. So cache is not clearing. So let me see which configuration I missed it. It may take time. I don't want to waste that time here. Okay. So I'll see that one and I'll let you know next time which configuration is missing and why it's not refetching. So either when you are doing the redux, when you are going with a new company or the new website is building, they always do redux toolkit. So you have to go with this method. Okay, and if a company has started the project 2-3 years back, they will be doing this method. Okay, so you have to follow this method. But if they are moving to redux toolkit, they will go with this method. So either of they, you are good. You can use either of these 3 ways. But when you're going for interview, then try to talk about this only because they don't care this old way.
Got it.
There is a new thing right now. Many new companies don't prefer the redux. They go with a new state management tool, and that state management tool is called as Jota. And there are many others. Jota is one of the favorite of many companies, and redux is something they don't prefer because redux is too complex and things are getting much bigger and bigger, so they don't take that over the redux. But you should know redux. Jota is simple 1-line code which we can use anywhere for the state management, and then it is It is used most of the days nowadays.
Okay, jhota hai.
So now before we move further, so though we have to do the TypeScript, we will start next time TypeScript kind of thing. And then another thing which we have to start is called as micro frontend. These two things we start next time. We'll start with the micro frontend and we will learn TypeScript in that only. Now, what is micro frontend? We'll start the idea, though I will repeat next time. Today, I'll give the short one. So in micro frontend, there is one container, and then there are all sub applications below it. For example, authentication. Maybe you have some React components. Maybe you have a discussion board. Maybe you have another functionality called as some static pages or static or marketing pages. Maybe you have your website has a dashboard, so you put the dashboard as a separate. So each individual is a separate React application. So each one is a separate React application. Let's say this one is built by Anand. So he will only build his own React application, or he will not look into all other things. If he needs some components, he can get it from this components library, but he will build his own application itself. And let's say Kate works on this one. So she will only build this React component and she will not look into auth or discussion board. And whenever discussion board needs some components, they will call this React component library and then they can use it. So each one is a separate thing which is built by different developers, different team of developers. And then each one can also access another React application, like discussion board needs, for example, input box. So instead of creating its own input box, they will call React component to get the input box. Or let's say dashboard needs some chart, so they will call the React component to get the chart and display it on the dashboard. So all will be built separately, and they can call also each one if they want. And then what container will do? Container will create one page, for example, layout page, and in that it can call a container can call auth application or container called discussion board. So for example, you go to one URL, auth, you will be in this application. Then you go to discussion, then you will be in this application. Then you go to dashboard. So this is very complex thing, and I think since we have already done a lot of React, it's time to go to this complex part of the React. This is the most complex part, and nowadays all companies are moving this way because tomorrow auth is changed to something. We have to change something in the auth. Then other things have not to be redeployed. Only we will deploy auth on the server, on the production, and rest will remain as it is. But nowadays what happens? When you change something, you have to deploy everything to the server. With this architecture, auth can be deployed separately than the components and discussion board. Also, each can be also in its own JavaScript framework. For example, auth is in React, and Kate has created React components in Angular, and this one is in the Vue. Then also we will be able to get it into the main container, and main container is an example, for example, the React. So this can be in different frameworks also. So this team works only in Angular. So we can also, but we can take this component and use it in auth or anywhere we want it. So pretty much easy to maintain in the future once we build it. And if we are trying to change one component, one application, then others will not be affected, and we will deploy this on the server itself. So we will do this in the TypeScript. We will use a TypeScript. So we will also one by one basics of the TypeScript also as we go on building this one. So from next step, MFE and TypeScript will be started, and this is very complex. If you only view, you will never be able to do it. Okay, so you have to build it as I go. So let me create. So we will create, and remember this is very award-winning. Once you learn this micro front end, you will be very much, what you call it, you will very much be seen in the current companies. All are going to micro front end. So I'm also, all my projects are now in micro front end. I don't do direct React application. I go with micro front end only. So let's build our new GitLab, and we will start this here. So everyone will get access here. So I will name it as micro front end. So now one advantage of this is like this, I built this website called as XYZ, and I call these components in the container. Tomorrow I have to build another website, ABC container. Then, if I need auth, I don't have to rebuild the auth again. I will call this auth part and use it. So it is one time we will build it. Let's say discussion board is also needed here. The React components is also loaded here. So we don't rebuild it. We call directly, because each one is in different URL. We will call all this thing, for example, in my another website. Okay, so this is how we build. Yeah, Subramaniam, speak a little louder.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned related to like front-end things, React, Angular, right?
Yeah.
Suppose Art uses React and component uses Angular. How this clubbing of the uh, Angular and React in a container will be maintained?
So clubbing will be done in the, when you build this one is when you build in Vue, ultimately it's a JavaScript, and each function, and inside JavaScript is a functions. All functions are there, right? So you will expose your function in discussion board, which is written in Vue, and then I will only take that function in my container and just call it wherever I want. I don't care whether it is pure JavaScript or React or Angular. I'll just use that function which you will expose, and that function can be a complete view. And inside it, it is what? It is a function. It is normal DOM manipulation. So though it is written Vue, but ultimately it returns a function which can be called anywhere. So this container will call that function, and it doesn't care whether it's a view or not. It ultimately, whatever the result build is there, it can use that build. It can be pure vanilla JavaScript. It can be anything. So it doesn't care, because it doesn't care whether it's a Vue, React, Angular, because ultimately everything is a JavaScript. It doesn't take the functionality of the view. It is a build file. Build file is pure functions, which will only manipulate a DOM as per their logic.
Okay.
Okay, so you will see that. Don't worry about this.
The add topic file, while getting state from store, you were using one hook, right? Use something
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
You assigned to one array, right?
right.
Yeah. Why is that case? Like for using you like use selector, we'll be assigning to one variable. We'll be defining that variable. But here we are directly assigning into array.
This one you're
Like
saying?
yes, yes. No, no, not this one. Line number 13.
13. This one.
Yes,
So
yes.
we are not using this. This is a hook which results the update. Which gives us a function update. And this update we have to call. We cannot call this function. This is how, if you go to read the documentation of Redux Toolkit, they explain how to use it. So this hook will give the update as a function. So this function has to be called where we have to update it. So we are calling this function here. And this, once the function is done, we call the unwrap. Unwrap is a part of this function which is returned. And then when we call unwrap, it will give the final response, which will be this. Right? So this is how, so whenever you use a library, we have to see the documentation how to call it. We cannot call the use update or this
The
directly.
thing, no, the thing is, you maintain variable called update, right?
Yeah,
You mention update is a function,
yeah,
right? But here in line number 13, you define that in within array.
yeah, because this might be returning an array with update as a first part, and there may be some more variables coming here, which are not needed
Okay,
for us.
okay, okay.
Right? Why? So we need only the first one, and that we call this update here. Okay, so there
So
may be
basically,
many
that's
more. There will be many more. I can call to this function to something X, and then we have to see what we are getting it, and we can call update in that also. This is something we are doing directly.
okay.
Okay, now what we will do, since this micro front end is very complex, so I want everyone to complete the things as we do on that day. Okay, so everyone will be committing in this one, which I will be creating. Students, I will say students ST. So I will name this as MFEST, and then let it be private. And then let's initialize the repository. Okay. I created this private repository. And then what we will do, like we were doing previously, I'm doing it like this because I want everyone to commit here. Okay. So let me add the people. Can you all give your username? And I want everyone to follow the instruction next time as I go. Okay, because this is too much complex to do. If you don't follow, then you will be lost. Let me see where can I add. Okay, can you paste your username of GitLab? I will give you permission. Here only, give me here only. Thus I will add it now. So if you cannot give now, then give in Telegram. But I want now so that I can add it here. So we will be using TypeScript for this one, and we will build complete in TypeScript. Okay, those who create account then put it in Telegram. Okay, maybe yeah, whenever you want, just give it in Telegram. Okay, so that's for this Okay. I want the username, not the email. They don't take the email. So, okay, email address is there. Let me see if I can put email. It's not allowing me. Otherwise, if I put username, it gives me directly. Just give me the username in the Telegram. I don't know which one is okay. Just give me the username. I will update it here.